Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now and at the hour of our death. Amen.
Mary, seat of wisdom,
Pray for us.
in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
Amen.
So today we begin a new chapter, chapter 9. I will try to begin chapter 10 in such a way that we have more time for exercises before the examination, before the games. For the game. Okay. So conversion. When we speak about conversion, we don't speak about Saint Paul, going to Damas. Saint Paul, the conversion of Saint Paul. Conversion in Latin means to turn completely. To turn completely. So here it is we try to do with proposition. We try to change the subject to the predicate and the predicate to the subject. That is conversion. Okay? It's an operation we have to study because that kind of operation has consequences sometime when we study syllogism. Analyze syllogism, we need to know that. So the conversion is a change from the predicate of the first proposition in such a way that the subject of the first proposition becomes the predicate here, and the predicate becomes the subject. So let us take an example. The example of your copy here. No deacon is a pagan. I hope. No deacon is a pagan. So if we come, what is the subject here? The subject is deacon, and the subject will, we keep the same, don't forget here is no, no is negative. That is the difficulty in English. Contrary to other languages, the negation is not close to the verb, it's not attached to the verb. No deacon is. In Espanol, in Spanish, in French, in Italian, in Latin, we don't say that. We say deacon is not. Okay? So here, deacon is the subject. And what is the extension of the subject here? No deacon. The proposition is what kind of proposition? Universal. Negative. Therefore, it is E. E. Okay? So the subject here of universal is distributed. You remember, no? If I say no deacon, it is for every deacon, no exception. Okay? Is a pagan. Pagan is the predicate. What is the extension of the predicate? Distributed. Why? Because the predicate of a negative proposition is distributed. I told you that is fundamental. What we saw last class is for the rest of your life. You need that absolutely. So the subject of the universal proposition is distributed. That means every in the you buy, for example, a basket of 12 tomatoes. So if we say that my basket is good, everyone must be good. So that means if you distribute your 12 tomatoes, you will distribute 12 good tomatoes. Okay, you understand that? So the subject of a universal is distributed. And the predicate of a negative is always distributed. Because we saw that negation implies total exclusion. The subject here is totally apart the predicate. For example, seminarians are not pagan. They are totally apart the group of the pagan. Okay? Distribute. Now we have to keep the same or less extension. So no deacon. Here the verb stay the same. The quality of the proposition, or remember the form of the proposition, affirmative or negative. So the same quality, negative, negative. So deacon become the predicate, and pagan become the subject. Now, what can we say here? Can we say the totality of the deacon is not Yes, we can say that. Huh? No pagan is a pagan. So what is the extension of here the subject?
This,
No pagan
this would be,
distributed. What is the extension of taken here
this would be.
distributed? Well, look at that. This extension distributed. Distributed. So the same extension. The law is we can have the same extension, you can have less, or you can have more. Cannot have more. That means if I have undistributed here, I cannot have distributed here. So what we can say? We can say that E is converted to E. What is E? What is E?
No pagan.
Universal negative. So we can convert a universal negative into a universal negative. Okay? That is the first case. Huh? Transforming E into E. Okay? First conversion. And that happens sometime in the conclusion. Suppose the conclusion of your reasoning is no American is no, I don't say that. I will say no Muslim is baptized. You can say no baptized is a Muslim. Huh? You can say both. Then if we affirm a universal negative, you can convert the universal negative. If I say, for example, very clearly, no man is a woman, no woman is a man, no? Huh? Common sense. That means the proposition that is universal negative can be converted a universal negative. Okay? Another case now. That's the first case. No? You E to E conversion. So we keep the same quality and we change the subject to the predicate and the predicate to the subject. Let us take another example. Now, let us ask I, proposition I. Some deacon is what was the example? I will change the deacon. Let us take some seminarian. Is studious. You understand studious? Is it good? Are you studious? No? Change. You are not studious. Attentive. Are you attentive? No? You are attentive. Okay. Let us say attentive. Some seminarian is attentive. And we try to convert that. So the symbol for is E. So some seminarian. The subject is seminarian. What is the extension of some? Undistributed. Okay? And what is E, the predicate? Or affirmative proposition is undistributed. Huh? You remember every predicate, the subject of an affirmative, the predicate is always necessarily. Why? Because it is a part. If I say, for example, some children play baseball. Some children play baseball. Those who play baseball, all those who play baseball, major league, in the college, high school, kindergarten, and someone are children. Okay? So the player, so to play baseball, apply to the children in a particular way, in an undistributed way. That means not all the baseball players are in the children here. correspond to the children. The children correspond only to a part of. So the predicate is necessarily undistributed. Okay? Automatically, predicate of a negative proposition is distributed. Predicate of a affirmative proposition is necessarily undistributed. Necessarily. Okay? Now, if I want to convert that, so I keep the same quality, the same quality, the same form, affirmative. So seminarian will become the predicate, and attentive will become the subject. So how we can transform that? Some seminarian, what is the extension undistributed? Here, seminarian, what is the extension? The extension of an affirmative proposition is undistributed. Okay? That means among the seminarian, you have a part that are attentive. Maybe the other are watching a game or doing other things, you know. Huh? Okay? Now, here, attentive. What is the extension you have to give to attentive? Attentive, that is some attentive one. Okay? One attentive is. Can you say every seminarian, every attentive person is a seminarian?
No.
No.
You have to say some attentive person, someone, some attentive person or one is a seminarian. Therefore, what is the extension of subject here?
Undistributed.
Undistributed. So attentive is undistributed. Attentive is undistributed. The subject seminarian is undistributed. The seminarian is undistributed. It is valid conversion. So we can validly pass from I to I. Convert. So we E to E, I to I. We call that simple conversion, because we keep the same quantity. We don't change the quantity. The quantity is exactly the same. So you can say either some seminarian is attentive or some attentive one is a seminarian. It is exactly the same. That figure of, we call that chiasm or chiasm, both chiasm in Greek means a cross, like that. Cross. So we change one for the other. Okay? Chiasm. Well, I will not ask that question in examination, but for your information. Chiasm. We change the subject for the predicate for the subject. And it is chiasm or chiasm. Okay? So we can change, convert E to E, I to I. Okay? Now we try another change. We try A. What is A? Universal affirmative. Okay. Let us take a universal affirmative. For example, every US president is born in the United States. Okay? So I have no chance to become president. Okay? So that is A. But what is the extension of the subject? Every US president. Distributed. It is affirmative. And the predicate, what is the predicate? Born in the United States. The verb is affirmative. The predicate would be undistributed. That means among all those who are born in the United States, you have people, and among them you have a group we call president. Okay? So the board in the United States apply to president in a particular way. Huh? Okay? That is you and distribute. Okay. Now we have to convert that. Conversion. So the president subject become the predicate. And the board in the United States become the subject. Okay. So here we have distributed. What would be the extension of US president here? The verb is, to be is affirmative, therefore, the predicate will be undistributed. Huh? Okay. And born in the United States. Here, what is the extension? Undistributed. Can you say all born in the United States are president? No. Because if you say that, you have more extension. Huh? So you are obliged to say some. Some. So someone who is born, or some who are born in the United States, undistributed, is a US president. Okay? So here, what do we cannot convert A to A. We cannot convert A to A. That means we cannot have here a universal, because if I have a universal, I will add distributed, and there will be more extension than here, which is undistributed. Therefore, I am obliged to say I. And some, it is I. Particular, affirmative. And here is a universal affirmative. So I can pass from universal affirmative to a particular affirmative. But not for that. So I can say only. Okay. So that is the second category of conversion. That conversion is not a simple conversion. Huh? Okay? If now you have another case, the other case is I. We spoke about A, we spoke about E, we spoke about I. Now we have to speak about O. Remember?
Yeah.
A, E, I,
O.
Huh? A, E, I, O. A, universal affirmative. E, universal negative. I, particular affirmative. O, particular negative. So now let us try proposition O. Let us try that. We have A. No. A convert to I. We have E. E convert to E. I convert to I. Now O. So let us take an example. Some, okay, some cat is not a good mouse hunter. Okay? Some cat is not a good mouse hunter. What is that? Oh, no. Particular. What is the subject? L, distributed. The verb is negative. And the predicate is distributed. So good mouse hunter is distributed. Now, let us keep cat here and good mouse hunter here. Okay. What is the extension of cat here? The verb is Negative. The predicate is necessarily distributed. So cat is distributed here. And cat here is undistributed. Can you start from the particular et affirm for the universal?
No.
No. How I say some seminarians are very pious. Therefore, all seminarians are pious. Am I allowed to say that?
No.
No. So, impossible. Huh? Nothing. Nil. We cannot convert O. Huh? We cannot convert O. But some logicians, they say, yes, we cannot convert, but you can convert by contraposition. Contraposition. That means you say no, none, and none, and you have the same truth. But that is, forget that. I will not ask for the exam, but that's a possibility, contraposition. That means, for example, I will say, some non-good mouse on earth is some non-cat. No. Okay. So, to summarize that, three things, three possibilities, the conversion. A to I, A to E, and I to I. And in a conclusion, for example, suppose in a conclusion you have this man is a musician. I can say this musician is a man, no? Huh? We can say that. So those two propositions are convertible. E and I are convertible. I cannot convert A to I, but E and I are convertible. We see that when we study syllogism next chapter. Okay? So now you go to your text. The letter B, no, excuse me, before that. Contradiction, okay, the rule for conversion, huh? So we must keep the same quality. Secondly, the terms here, predicate and subject, must not overextend it. They must not have more extension than. I cannot start from little and to affirm for many. That we call that in fallacies, false induction. I go to a country, I go to Vietnam, for example. I visit the Dominican sister, a banquet, the sister of the Holy Cross, a banquet. I go to the bishop, a banquet. I say, hey, Vietnamese, they are always in banquet, no? Can I say that? No, I cannot start from some, about pedophilia. Some priests are pedophile, therefore all priests are pedophile, no? That is false induction. We cannot start from a few cases to affirm. We cannot affirm more than what you can know. If I can know that a thing, I can say less, but I cannot say more. Okay? So that is false induction. Okay? Now I go to the second case. It is obversion. Obversion. Well, if you look at your text, what is an obversion? It is the reversing of the quality of the proposition. Here we change the quality of the proposition. So if the first is negative, the second will be affirmative. And if the second is affirmative, if the second case, we change. Or that. So that is the first thing. We change the quality. We change the quality, that means the form. The form is the verb. The form of a proposition is the verb, no? Verb to be. Secondly, we retain the same subject and the same predicate. But we contradict the predicate. The second predicate is contradicted. That means it becomes non-P. Non-P. So here we have the constitution of obversion. So in obversion, we change the form, the quality of the proposition, and we keep the same subject, and we contradict the predicate. Okay? Obversion. Ob is back in fact on me. I don't know if it is very useful, but it is in the program. In fact, we don't use that in syllogism, but that is used in rhetoric. Rhetoric. Rhetoric is the art of speaking, talking, addressing to the people. And that kind of obversion sometimes is used by a rhetorician. We will see some example soon. Okay? So retain the same subject, contradict the qualitative verb, and contradict the predicate. Okay. So let us now apply to some cases. Let us go to A, proposition A. Okay? Well, I take the example of your paper here. Every firefighter is courageous. Every firefighter is courageous. Okay? So I have to contradict. If I contradict, what I have to say here? But that is A. Universal. I must have a
No.
universal. No, exact. No firefighter is. I contradict the predicate is none courageous. You know, the subject is the same. Firefighter, firefighter. But here it is E, because I say no. And no is a negation. Is the meaning changing?
No.
The meaning
No.
is
No, it's
the same. You know? Because here what I have? I have a negation with a negation. Minus 1 multiplied by minus 1 equals 1. You studied that in algebra? Well, I give you an example. In fact, if I want to express that, I will say the denial of the denial is an affirmation.
Yeah.
The denial of the denial is an affirmation. Okay? I give you an example. Sister, maybe in your monastery, you have a convent, you have a bursar. And the bursar, the sister in charge, sometimes at the end of the day, there is something negative. Minus $20 in my minus $20. What mean that? Minus $20. Or red, in the red, we say that in red, huh? What is the meaning of minus $20?
You lost $20.
Yes, you lost. You don't have. You have in privation of $20. Okay? Suppose I give you another. Suppose that $20 is the money you owe to the chaplain. Okay? And say, Father, we have no money. We cannot pay to you the $20. You. I say, okay. I deny the debt. I suppress the debt. Delete. Delete. So when you delete, when you deny it, what do? you say negation, multiply by negation, finally equal $20. It is the same if I give you $20 and you take your $20, you give that to the chaplain. No? It is a gift, no? Of course, you don't touch the money. I know the reason.
It's like a pet.
You know, because we are not used to things like that. Huh? We are not used to things like that. If suppose you borrow money, and you borrow $1,000, you need money to build, to repair your the roof of your house, the convent or the seminary. So you have to have money. You have no money. So you go to the bank, you say to the bank, we need absolutely $1,000. So in fact you don't have $1,000, you have minus $1,000. You have that. And after, the bank has no heart. But suppose the person who gave you $1,000 is a friend, your father, for example. He say, oh, you are in convent, you are so poor. Okay, I lent you to $1,000. And when you have the money, you can give that. Of course, you never have the money to pay. So finally, your father, after 2-3 months, he realizes that you cannot pay $1,000. What he will say? He send a letter to the superior. He say, I delete, I erase, I suppress, I deny the debt. So he deny what you don't have. In fact, what your father is doing is giving to your monastery $1,000. No? Of course you don't have it, but yeah, it's a gift.
Oh, I see.
For example, recently, about a few years ago in Canada, my country, we lent to many African countries a lot of money when they start in 1960, 65, And we realized they cannot, it's impossible. For example, the Cameroon, the benefit of 1 year is only sufficient to pay the interest of the debt. The profit, the benefit of the country is only enough to pay the interest of the debt. So what the Canadian government decided to suppress the debt. You see, they will never pay. They cannot. It's impossible. So they say, forget. So when our country suppressed the debt, in fact, what they did, it was a gift, no? So we have to think about that. To suppress the debt, is this to give something? Well, I don't want to become a theologian, but what is a sin? A sin is a negative thing. Huh? And when Jesus forgives us, what he does? He suppresses the debt. He gives us our integrity, no? Well, so think about that. Because we are not used to that kind of... in algebra, we say -2 multiplied by -3 equals 6. Of course, we learn that automatically. We say 2 negation give an affirmation. But why? Because we suppress here 2 times the debt here. So we make 6 gift. Okay? So we can, therefore we can convert A to E, the first. Let us go to another. Here you see that logic is close to mathematics.
Oh, sure.
Yes, because mathematics is logic. No?
So,
Yes.
saying that you know that you don't know is an affirmation that
You know? No, you don't know that you don't know. If you say, I deny, no, I don't know.
Yes.
Because I don't know.
so you-
I deny that I don't know. That means I know.
Wait, say that again. I deny.
I deny that I don't know. Therefore, I know.
Yeah.
And that is a figure of style used by rhetorician. For example, if you say, you are not non-stupid.
Is it?
You are not
No.
non-stupid.
You're
Is it
stupid.
no do not to it?
Yeah? Stupid. Yeah, you are not. My adversary is not a gangster. Is not gangster. I mean, he is a gangster. But if I am sued by a lawyer, I say, oh no, I did not say he's a gangster. I said he's a non-gangster. Non-gangster. I don't say gangster. I say non-gangster. Because non-gangster, but I say not non-gangster. Therefore, I say he's a gangster. Sometimes some rhetorician or politician, they play on that. And the people are not attentive. I like to deny that I don't know, means I know. I deny that I am not the one who robbed the money, therefore I am the one who robbed the money. Okay? Who robbed the money. Okay. Now let us ask I to O. Now how do you convert I to O? Alors some American is rich. Okay, that is I, huh? So I have to change that and to write here, what I will write here? Some American is not non-rich.
Not non-rich.
Non-rich, okay? That some American is rich, some American is
It's
not
non-rich.
non-rich. That mean is the same meaning,
Yeah.
but not express the same. We call that Obversion. Huh? And another one, no pope was a woman. So every pope was a non-woman. You know? Okay. O, now, O change to I. Let us take an example. O, some student some students are not lazy. Some students are not lazy. That is O. Okay. If I transform that in I will say some students are not non-lazy. Huh? Some students are, are non-lazy. Huh? Are non-lazy. Some students are non-lazy. But to say some students are not lazy, non-lazy, and are not lazy is the same meaning, but it's not the same kind of proposition. Here the proposition is negative, and here the proposition is affirmative. So what makes the quality? It is the verb. The verb is not is with the verb. Here non is with the predicate. Therefore, the proposition is affirmative. So we must know that because in syllogism, that will happen. Huh? Be attentive. Sometimes you have none, but the none is on the predicate. Therefore, the proposition is affirmative. Huh? Affirmative. Okay? Because someone, they say, oh, I saw none, it's negative. No. For example, if you say that a Christians are non-Muslim. What kind of proposition? Affirmative. If you say Christians are not Muslim, negative. You see the same thing, but the proposition, one is affirmative, the other is negative. Okay?
Can you go over the rules again for that, like with the verb or?
The verb, you contradict the, no, excuse me, you contradict the verb. If it is affirmative, the second must be negative. You keep the same subject, you keep the same predicate, but you contradict the predicate.
I meant when it is negative or affirmative, the non. So whenever it goes with the verb, right, it is negative.
Okay, if the noun touch the verb, for example, some Americans are not Catholic, for example. No? Okay, you see, if I say some Americans are non-Catholic, the verb is affirmative. Because the non, in fact, it is, we say non, it is hyphenated, non with a hyphen, non-Catholic, non. Okay? Sometimes you will have that kind of problem in syllogism. So you must be attentive. When the non is hyphenated, that means with the hyphen is attached to a predicate or attached to a subject. For example, if you say some non-American are musician.
Affirmative.
The affirmative. The non-American is on the subject, not on the verb. Okay? Even if the meaning is negative, the proposition is affirmative. Okay? I go now to the law of the principle. So the denial of this contradictory, is also true. Okay? The worker is not non-lazy, means this worker is lazy. Okay? Finally, procedure to be observed. The remark here. We must use non, because on or in, those two prefixes are not necessarily negative. For example, uncle. My uncle is not the absence of club. On. So sometimes on is negative, in is negative, but not only. Ongoing, for example. So be attentive to use always none. Always none. If you have a word, for example, more complicated, undistributed. This proposition is undistributed. What is the quality of the proposition? This proposition is undistributed. Affirmative. The verb is affirmative. The meaning is negative, of course. But the on is not with the verb. The on is with distributed. So be attentive. A negative proposition must be affected. The verb must be affected by the negation, no or not. When you have none attached to the subject or none attached to the predicate, does not change that. You can have two negations. For example, I can say some non-American are non-Canadian. I have none, and the proposition are some non-American are non-Canadian. The proposition is affirmative. Some non-American, for example, Vietnamese, are not non-Canadian. Okay? Well, it's not difficult. It's not difficult. Okay, now I go to the example you have on the last page. The governor is not a non-atheist. What is the meaning of that? The governor is and it is. That is not non-threatening. That is threatening. You know? Every book is not non-boring. Every book is boring.
Father, I thought for that is not, you have to put no book or
No.
every book. Okay.
If you say no book, it's universal.
Okay.
If you say some book is not, is particular. You touch here the difficulty of English, because in other language it's not difficult. For a universal, you say no, and you don't say no, you say not. But in English, the no is at the beginning of the sentence. You know, you say for example, no man who works in our company has low salary. No, but as is negative. But many times, you know what happened? You say as, as, affirmative. You forget the no. So be attentive to read the whole sentence. Huh? The whole sentence. Okay. This person is not non-crazy. Okay. So we pass now to chapter 10. The best way to understand is to practice.
Yeah. Very much so.
So here we study the opposition of proposition. So we are in the second part of logic, judgment, to judge. In a judgment, we have a subject, we have a predicate, and they are united by the verb to be. Okay, we know that. We study that, we analyze that. Now, if you take the same predicate and the same subject, same subject, same predicate, you may have many possibilities. And we can compare the same sentence. For example, we saw that last week. Huh? Every lion is strong. No lion is strong. You know, we can oppose the proposition. Huh? You remember that? You forget everything. Okay. Well, so we saw that we divide. Remember here the form, quality, the form. Here the quantity or the matter. Quantity, universal, particular, here affirmative and negative. And we use a symbol now to represent that. You remember? A, E, I, O. Okay, so we have four possibilities because the two other, indefinite and singular, can be assimilated to one or the other, particular or universal. Okay. Now, what we have to study now, it is the opposition of those four kind of proposition. So we call that the square of opposition. Let us take an example. I will use the example you have here. It's too long to write. I like the example of every lion, okay? Or every lion is strong. Here, no lion is strong. Here, some lion is strong. And here, some lion is not strong. Okay. Now we try to find the opposition between those propositions. What is the total, the greatest opposition we can have here? Here we have universal. Here we have particular. Here we have affirmative. Here we have negative. Okay. So, what is the maximum of opposition? if they oppose in quantity, if one is universal, the other will be particular. If one is affirmative, the other will be negative. So here, affirmative, universal affirmative, here, particular negative. So that it is a total opposition. We call that contradictory opposition. They accept no middle. You remember black and
White.
no, black and non-black, white and non-white. Here it is. Every lion is strong. Here, some lion is the strong. It is completely to the extreme. There is, it is one or the other. Either every lion is strong, or no, some lion is not strong. Okay? So it is contradictory. And we have the same here between E and I. Contradictory. That is the strongest opposition. Okay? Now, why we study that? It's not only to have fun. Of course, it's funny, no? Yeah, I enjoy that. I will go to confessional to confess that because it's intellectual gluttony. You know, when I was teaching in the 10th grade in the high school, the director of the high school, he said that day, I never heard about a student who accused himself in confession of intellectual gluttony. That means to have studied too much. Okay, too much pleasure in studying. So if, what is the reason for that? It is about truth and falsity. You know, we said that one of the property of every judgment is to be true or false. And we said that, every judgment is linked with the truth. If what we judge corresponds to the reality, I am in the truth, I am true. If my judgment does not correspond to the reality, I am not in the truth, and I am in the falsity. Okay? Error. Okay. So here we see, if, for example, let us ask, if A is true, suppose it is true that every lion is strong.
It's always necessarily false.
The other will be necessarily false. Every lion, one by one, is strong, but not a single one will be not strong. So if A is true, O will be false. So if A is true, EO will be false. Okay? They oppose in truth and in falsity. Because if I say that is false, the other is necessarily true. Okay? If I say it is false that some lion is not strong, therefore every lion must be strong. So that contradictory opposition, opposed in truth and in falsity. What is the meaning of that? They cannot be true and false at the same time. If one is false, the other is necessarily true. If one is true, the other is necessarily false. That is absolute opposition. And, you know, you see, oh yes, but there is a consequence of that. In politics, for example. In politics, when you study communism, Marxism, Karl Marx, Hegel speak all the time about contradiction. But in fact, when you know very well, the system is not a contradiction. It will be a contrariety. Contradiction that means no middle between two systems. But in fact, the system, the revolution are not based on contradiction, they are based on contrariety here. For example, we start from the state of slavery, you go to the feudal, you go, or in the growth of a person, you have babyhood, and after childhood, adulthood, adolescence, and mature, and finally, symmetry. So all those, they are not contradiction, but they are contrary. If there was contradiction, that means the child will be completely different from the baby, another person. Contradiction is total denial of the other, total denial. Or in the history, every system is not a total denial. Why? Because the same person who were in one system continue to be in the other system. You know, there is something permanent. It's not a contradiction. Contradiction is absolute different, nothing in common. Okay. Well, that on parenthesis to see that even logic can have some application in politics, in social ethics. Okay. Now I go to a second opposition. Every lion is strong, no lion is strong. Every lion, what is that? Universal affirmative. So here, two universal opposed. Opposed in what? In quality, not in quantity. They are the same quantity. Both of them are universal. Every lion and no lion means the totality of the lion. Okay? But they change in the quality. In the quality. So they have the same quantity, but they oppose in quality. We call that contrary opposition. Why? Because they don't exclude one another. For example, think about water. Water can be hot, it can be cold. Well, you go to take your breakfast and you take cold water, and after a few seconds in the microwave you have hot water. Okay? It is water. But the situation of water is not the same. Because between to be cold and to be hot, there is a middle. You know? If you have a thermometer, you will see thermometer, we go, there is middle. There is not contradictory, it is contrary. The contrary admit a middle. White and black. Middle is gray. No? Gray. Huh? You take many situations, you have good and bad. You can have something in the middle, you know? Huh? Sweet and sour, something in the middle. So we call that contrary opposition. Now, if I say A is true, if I say it is true that every lion is strong, what happened to no lion is strong?
It is false.
Well, false. So if A is true, that means E is false. If I say it is false that no lion is strong, no, excuse me. If it is true that no lion is strong, I must say that is false that every lion is strong. So we are sure of that. Huh? They oppose in truth. They oppose in truth. That means they cannot be true at the same time. If one is true, the other is false. Okay? If A is true, if it is true that every lion is strong, it is false that no lion is strong. If it is true that no lion is strong, I cannot say that every lion, that is opposed in truth. Opposed in truth.
And that's contrary?
Contrary. Opposed in truth. Okay? But do they oppose in falsity? That's another question. Suppose I say every lion is strong is false. Because I met some lion, they were very weak. Huh? Yeah, they are all a lion also. Huh? They walk. Okay? So it is false to say that every lion is strong. Can I conclude that no lion is strong?
No.
No. We don't know. Because there is two possibilities. If A is false, it can be possible that E be true. It can be possible that E be false. We don't know. It is not because not every lion is strong. It is false that every lion is strong. That every no lion will be true. Is not strong will be true. We don't know. So that means they oppose in truth, but they don't oppose in falsity. Here, the contradictory opposed in truth and in falsity. If one is false, the other is true. If one is false, the other is true. But here, if one is false, the other is unknown. Unknown. Because there is possibility. Well, suppose I have, in my class, I have 10 students, for example, 10 students. Okay? I say, every student is in the class. I say that is false, because in fact, one is sick. In fact, I have only 9. So if I say, suppose I receive a call from Father Mose, he say, are you all your students in your class? I say, yes. But it's false, because one is sick. So, if it is false that I say that every student is in the class, that means no student is in the class. No. Or some student can be, no student can be, we don't know. So because of that we say indeterminate, unknown. But in modern logic, they will say both are true. They will say if P, then Q. Then if we affirm P, we affirm Q. But if you deny P, we have two possibilities, Q or non-Q. That is modern logic. But in classical logic, we say we don't know. No. And the unique way to know is to verify. But I cannot start from the falsity. For example, if I say, is this false to affirm that all Americans are rich?
Yes.
It is false. Can I affirm that no American is rich?
No.
No. I cannot affirm that some Americans are not rich or some are rich. I have to check. No. A priori, I cannot affirm. I have to verify. Okay? Now we go to here. You have, we call particular, opposition in particular. Some lion is strong, some lion is not strong. Well, that opposition, we call that sub-contrary. Can a student explain to me why you use the word sub-contrary?
Because it's not totally.
Because they are under.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's important.
Contrary, under, sub-contrary. It's not because they go underwater, no. Sub-contrary. But now look at the sub-contrary. Here we saw the opposing truth. And the sub-contrary, we'll see the opposing falsity. Okay, I will try to start from many possibilities here. Let us say that some lion is strong, let us say that is true. I affirm that some lion is strong is true. Okay? What can I say about some lion is not strong? Suppose I have all the lions in the world here. I say some are strong. Can I conclude that some are not strong or some are?
Yeah.
Can I conclude that every lion is strong?
No.
No. Can I conclude that some are not strong?
Yeah.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
No.
Suppose I say, yes, Father Moses, some sisters are present in my class. Yeah. Okay, yes. Some students are present in my do I say, Father Moses said that every student is present because I say some. When I say some, can I say no? I cannot start from someone to
It's irreversible.
we saw that just before false and doctrine. I cannot say also because some are in the class, some are not in the class. Can I say that? No. Maybe everyone is in the class. Maybe someone are not in the class. Maybe nobody is in the... No, I cannot say nobody because some are in the class. So we don't know. That means the sub-contrary, they don't oppose in truth. Here they oppose in truth. Here they don't oppose in truth. But they will oppose in falsity.
Oh.
That means they cannot be false at the same time. And let us verify, and we try to explain that more in detail next class.
So if I is true, then O is false.
O is unknown.
O is unknown.
Unknown. Okay? Now if I say some lion is strong is false. If I say some lion is strong is false, necessarily, if I affirm false here, that means it is true that no lion is strong, no? If I say, for example, some students are in the class, and that is false, what are you obliged to say? No student is in the class. And therefore, if no student is in the class, we can say some students are not in the class. Look at that. Some students are in the class. I say it's not true. That means it is not true that some students are in the class, therefore there is no student in the class. If it is false here it is true. And if it is true that no student is in the class, it is true that some students are not in the class also. Suppose here we are lay student, you are religious, you are seminarian, you are sisters. No student is in the class. I can say some sisters are not in the class, some seminarians are not in the class, no?
Yeah.
Because if I deny, I say not a single seminarian is in the student is in the class, therefore necessarily some student is not in the class. Okay? So that means if if one term of the opposition is false, the other is necessarily true. I have an aquarium this morning. Okay, I will try to explain that. Okay, I will come on that next time. But look at this. You can use what you know already. What do you know? You know the contradictory. Oh, let us come here. You see, if I is false, okay? What do you know necessarily about the E? True. If E is true, and now it is not the, I have to extend the next one here. If it is true of the whole, it is true of the part. You know? That means here, if A is true, I will be true. We call that subalternation. Subaltern. And what is the law of the subaltern? When the universal is true, the particular is necessarily true.
So if E is true, then O is true, or no?
Exact.
Yeah.
Exactly. Genius, you find that. Is E is true, O is true. Is the reason why? If I is false, E is true, therefore O will be true. And we say truth descending. Truth descending. From the universal to the particular. Okay? But can you say from the particular to the universal?
No.
No. So if you start from here, if you say I is true, can you say A is true? No. So we say truth descending, but ascending we don't know. Now, let the contrary. Let us suppose that I is false. It is false that some lion is strong. Will it be true that every lion is strong?
We don't
No,
know.
it will be false. If it is false that some lion is strong, therefore some lion is not strong. Therefore it will be false. That means, if you have 10, you go to the market, you buy 10 tomatoes, okay?
Yep.
And the merchant tells you that they are perfect. It's perfect, okay? You go out and you open and you see 2 tomatoes, they are rotten. So it is false to say that some tomatoes are good because 2 are not good. 2 are rotten.
Yeah.
Can you say that the 10 are good?
No.
No. So that means from the falsity of someone is the falsity of the whole. But I give you another example. You play music in orchestra, or you sing, but you make some mistake during the concert. Can you say the concert is perfect? No. So some error, some falsity made the concert not perfect. You cannot say the concert was perfect. It's the same. If you have 2 tomatoes rotten in a dozen of tomatoes, you cannot say the whole is perfect. So that means falsity ascending. From the falsity of someone, you can affirm the falsity of the whole. Be careful. When I say the falsity of the whole, I don't say that everything is false. But as a whole, it's not good. When I say tomatoes make the basket not perfect, I don't say that the 8 other are rotten. But I cannot say that every tomato is good. That from the falsity of the particular, we conclude to the falsity of the universal. From the truth of the universal, we conclude to the truth of the particular. From the falsity of the particular, and from the truth of the particular, we don't know.
No.
And from the falsity of the universal, we don't know also. We come back on that. So try to work on that, to assimilate that. We call that the square of opposition. Have a good meal. And practice, the best is practice.